Hi, and welcome back to Art and Imagination. Glad to see you. Come on in. And today we're going to do another watercolor. And I have put a boy on the paper, and we're ready to go. And that's all the lines I put on, because the idea is this boy is playing in the ocean water, and he's splashing the water, and there's going to be big splash mark up here where he's kicked the water and he's going to make a big splash. So he's having a lot of fun at the beach, and as you notice, I've got a big fat brush that I'm going to dip in the water, the tips of it anyway, and I'm going to go to the sky and I'm going to wet this and try to avoid him a little bit. But this brush is losing its hair, as all moppies do. That's what I call them. And I'm going to go into the blue here and get a little bit of blue on the tips of this. Well, I've got a lot of water on this brush, so I need to dry it off. And I got a little bit of brown next to that. But I'm going to put a sky in here and come down to where I think the horizon is. And there's a little bit of blue, darker blue, and I'm going to make one side bluer than the other. And there comes all that hair on my brush. I'm going to brush it off. They just don't make brushes that... In fact, I just might move to another brush. Because if one's not working, lay it down. Not get rid of it, but lay it down. So I'm going to kind of go around him a little bit. But I'm going to get another brush in here, another bigger brush, and a different brush. And it's not ever been used yet, so I'm going to try to, well, it's not going to break down for me. Well, we're having a little bit of troubles this morning. But I'm going to use it anyway, the tip of it. I'm going to go on this. At least it's not losing its hair like the other one was. It's hard to dehair them once they... But if you have that problem, you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking the hairs off, drying it off. And I need my paper towels. That'll help. This brush will eventually get to where I want it. There we go. And I'm just going to scrub that in best I can. And I'm going to leave a little bit of light up there. Just bring that across. First time I've used just the tip of a brush. But it's working. And I want to make this side darker because we want the light to come from the right. And I want enough dark here that when we put the white splashes up here, that it will show. And already my paper is wrinkling because I've got probably too much water on it, but we'll work with it. It'll dry and flatten out. And you can use a dryer on this if it gets too wet for you. Your hair dryer will work just fine. Okay, we got the sky in. And need a little bit more over here. And try to go around him to some point. And just right in there. And just kind of go around him. try to make your lines as straight as you can. There we go. Now we got him outlined a little bit. Now we got water for the bottom. And I have another blue here I think I'll use down here. Get it nice and creamy. Go under his foot. Because he's playing in the water. And we want kind of a different blue for the bottom part for the ocean. I've done this at the ocean. It's fun to kick the water up and see it splash. And I'm not going all the way to the edge of the paper here. I use gesso to make the splashes all white and everything because the watercolor white doesn't really do very much for it. You can't splatter it like you'd like to. So get some gesso if you haven't got it already, and you'll be ready for the next session because we're just getting this all on the paper right now. We want to cover our canvas, and the ocean is kind of reckless, so let's make the ocean a little reckless where he's at. Be nice to have fun like that. Of course, when you get older, you can't do that anymore. But at his age, he's having a blast. It's so nice to be a kid. You have no idea how much fun you have. Now see, that pretty much looks like it's all just sky, but it's really not. Because down here, I'm going to put some water down here on the paper. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of brown that I use for sandy color. That's a little bit too red, too dark. I'm going to go back in here in the golden brown color. And I'm going to put some golden brown down here for the sandy beach. And it's okay to mix it with the color that's already all wet up there. But I don't want to make it even either. I just want to make it like you can see through the water. And just kind of throw it on. You don't have to be too careful with it. We get careful when we start putting clothes on this young man. And that's the fun part, putting clothes on kids. It's like paper dolls, girls. I like it. Now, I'm going to change brushes. I'm going to lay this big doggy down. Move this doggy over here. Now I'm going into a little bit darker brown. Give him something to stand on. And I like mixing the wet with the dry coming on where it is drying. And I'm going to just put it in different spots. And I'm kind of moving my hand in a sidewinder, I'll put it that way. Like a sidewinder snake. I'm going to put it in like that. Because it looks like the sand is standing up. But that'll give us a good thing for him to stand on. Let's put a little bit more up here. There, that looks pretty good. Now, I've left a little bit of light there for a background. Let's say he's out in the islands, like in Hawaii, and we've got to put something in the background, like a little mountain or something. So I'm going to go into the light purple. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make a mountain or where I can just barely see it back in the background. I want to put a lot of water in there. Let's put one that's coming out down like this. And the sky color will help you with your color in that background. We want it light because it's lighter in the background than it is in the foreground. So there you have it. Now you've got some mountains back there. That you can barely see, and that's good. Let's finish it off down here. And you kind of just use your brush. I've got a slanted brush, which helps. And then I'm going to kind of fade out that bottom into the water. Whereas you can just barely see where there's a line. And I want to make a difference between these two over here. These two mountains. So I'm going to go back in with water and my brush and pull that down so that we have another train or plane, whichever way you want to call it. So I got one way back in the background and one up in front. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 planes in this picture. And planes means the distances. It gives you distance within the painting because you want to make it more or less 3D. So I'm going to use this brush and I'm going to go back into the blue. Kind of a medium dark blue. And I'm going to go back over here. And I'm kind of going to make a little bit of clouds. Yeah, they're blue. But when I come back in with the gesso, they'll be white. But I want to fade it out and fuzz it out. Just pull the color down. It's okay. And I don't want that so harsh up there, so I'm going to brush it out too. Clouds are fun to make. And bring it all the way across. You can make your clouds any way that you want to. I like that white spot there. Put a lot of water and I'm going to do a lighter blue. And bring it down. And when I use the gesso, I'll go really light in here. But the more light that you can leave on your white, that you can leave on your paper, the better off you are. So now that gives you a little bit of sky. Going into a lighter blue for the other side. And let's just kind of go it there. Just be creative on your paper. You know, let the water flow. It's okay. This guy's having a good time in the water. I can remember I used to ski in the Pacific Ocean. Then I watched National Geographic now that I'm older. And oh my gosh, lots of things in there I didn't know was there. And boy, did I get scared after that. But I was lucky, I guess. God was with me while I was skiing. No little animal came along and bumped my leg off. But he could have. All right, we got that done. Now I'm going to go into, I'm going to put a darker line, blue line, and maybe like a little bit of a turquoise, and a little bit of blue mixed. And that'll give us a fine line for the back horizon line, in a sense. And I'm going to try to make it as straight as possible. So I'm going to go along here, just pulling it across. Now you want it kind of straight, otherwise your water will fall right off of your page into oblivion. You won't know where it's at. And going around, keeping a little light in there for the water. Going back into the turquoise and the blue. Because the ocean water, it looks brown when you first see it. And just let your brush do the work. And try to keep those lines as straight as possible. I've got this sideways, so I'm come on, let's get around his leg there. And let's bring the water down. Some of it's blue, some of it's light blue. And I try to not have any hard edges. I try to float it out to where we don't have hard edges. I can see my pencil marks here where I pinpointed the knee. Okay, we got that done. Now let's clean our brush. Now this is a very tan boy because the sunlight's coming from the back side. So his front side's going to be dark. This will be light. This will be dark in here. Well, now that I got my brush on there. We are going to put some pants and stuff on him. Oh, let's see, how tan is he? Pretty tan. He's a California boy or a Florida boy, whichever way you want to look at it. Living by the ocean is lots of fun. But it's also deadly because you get sunburned. And that, when you're later on, can turn into a cancer. So underneath his armpit here, it's going to be dark for his flesh. So I'll just kind of fade that on out. And then his chest part up here is going to be a little bit dark. So I'm putting the darks in first. And under his arm here. Because the light's going to hit him on the top. Now, shall we make him a redhead or a blonde or a brunette? Now, that's the next decision you got to make. I'm kind of partial to redheads. So let's make his hair a little bit orangey. because that'll make a pretty color. In fact, I think I'll change brushes here. Give me the brush I was using. This is a good one here to do his hair. While this dries, I'll do his hair. So I'm going to do his hair, and he's going to be a redhead, like I said. That gives you some nice color in this picture. And I'm just using the tip of my brush. I know it looks orange, it's okay. We'll fix it. But I want this undercolor. It's not as dark as I like. There we go. A little bit darker. Okay. Now I'm going to leave that backside for another color, which will be a lighter color, and it'll be more of a goldy color because the light's hitting him from behind. And when we get down to the detail part, then we will fix it to where he really looks like a redhead. Okay, we got to go back into that brown that I was using for his tan, and he's got to go into the ear part here. That's too much water. So I'll take a little bit. I want it darker. There we go. Still not as dark as I like. All right, the bottom of his foot's going to be a little bit darker too. So let's do his toes over here on the bottom side. Because he has been walking in the sand too, so. And I didn't put in a little mark there for his ankle. Okay. Now comes the fun part. What color of bathing suit should I put on him? Well, since he's a boy, I guess he's got to be blue. So I'm going to use a darker blue here and put his clothes on him. Okay, this is pretty easy. There's his belly button that I put in. So we're just going to, his body is kind of rounded here. So we're just going to fade in some color here. This is, like I said, the fun part. I'm going to pull that darker blue all the way around. And that would be my base color. That's the bottom of the color that I want. Now put the legs on. There again, it's rounded. I will be putting color on top of this base color that I'm putting on him right now. And I've got the lines there to show me where it goes. Now he's got clothes on, but I got to do the bottom part. He's got shorts over here. So therefore, I kind of do a comma. And I've already darkened his skin there, so it'll darken in the shorts too, because that will also be in shadow. I got a little thing there that I don't like, so I'll take it off. See, you can fix your mistakes as you go along. And let's see. I want a drier blue here. So the front part of his bathing suit's going to be dark. Right where his leg is. And bring that out. And also underneath is going to be the dark blue here. So you got to figure out where your shadows are. And I usually determine that before I get too far into this. So we'll let that dry. And we're going to have a little bit of rocks and everything down here in the sand. I'm going to put some of them in by hand like this. Different colors. Because that's the way the beach is. While his bathing suit's drying, I can put in some rocks here, some detail kind of in the sand. I will show you how to splatter that after we get farther along in here, but I just wanted to let everything dry up there so we can go on with the painting. And if you've ever lived on the beach, you know how much fun he's having. And boys will be boys. They will kick the water and splash it. And if you're in the way, that's really too bad. They get a chuckle out of that. That's boys for you. They have lots of fun. So I want you to continue on with putting your rocks in here. And next time we meet, I'll show you how to put the sandy grid in there. But continue on with your rocks and everything in the sand. We've got him going so far. So we've got just a few more minutes left, so let's continue to put our rocks in. I hate to say goodbye because I like starting it, and we could get so much farther along if we only had more time. But that's life, you know. We never have enough time, it seems, to do the things that we like to do. But for now, this is going to be about this gist of it, and I hope you come back and see Art and Imagination program again. So we'll see you soon, and God bless and take care. Bye-bye for now.